So this is the 5th hero cycle. The first thing the Acolyte will do is use Blood of an Overcomer. So basically this grants 1 faith and also clears all status effect on himself. He's the only one with it, so he's not poisoned anymore. So at least he's not gonna die because he's poisoned. That's always a bad thing. And it adds 1 threat, so he's at 2. I'm thinking he should try and bugger out of there before he gets attacked again. But he still doesn't have any defensive cards. And just have to figure out who's gonna get attacked most next cycle. Well, the grubbers will go for threat, so they would go through the Brigand, and those 2 grubbers are already adjacent to the Acolyte, so they'll stay there, but this one is closer to the Brigand, so he would go there also. So the Brigand will the Acolyte would only receive 2 attacks next turn, I believe. Actually, he's gonna receive 3, you'll see why real quick. But the Brigand can't really help him, so I'm gonna play Hand of the Father right now, which basically restores 3 vitality, so I'm back at 4. This is gonna be his action this turn. What next? Or actually, I'm gonna try something different. He's gonna hustle first. Can I? No, I can't. That's too bad. I can't because End of the Father can be played if I move. So End of the Father restores 3 vitality and also gives +1 D10 to a hero, +1 hero per faith. So I have 2 faith, so they both get that. I gain 4 threat, which pretty much breaks what I had planned because I didn't think about threat from Hand of the Father. And this is 2 AP, so the darkness activates right now. So the Acolyte may very well die. The crawlers go first or move first, so those 2 will remain where they are. This one, since they go for proximity, is closer to the Brigand, so he's gonna move here. Now the range guys will step back to stay within range of the Brigand, but as far away as possible. So 1, 2, 3 here, 1, 2, 3 right here. And now the grubbers. So the grubbers go for threat first. So now the Acolyte has the most threat. He's at 6. So he would they'll try to move to him. And since they're intelligent, they're gonna maximize how many guys can reach him. So he's not gonna move here. He's gonna take the long way around. So this guy will follow because now he's considered to be a scout. So this guy will follow him. 1, 2, 3. Now this guy will move 1, 2, and he since he's adjacent, he will go with him. But even if he can't reach the Acolyte. Now those 2 guys can't reach him, so they're gonna go for the next best thing, the Brigand. So he's gonna move here, he's gonna move on the treasures, and we're all set for the attacks. Just so you know, I kind of skimmed fast on the darkness card this time because the event didn't occur because it was if there are 2 captains of the same monster type, convert 1 into a mini boss, so that didn't happen. No threat penalty. And I'm already in the activation step, so they've already moved. So now it's time for the attack. So let's try and see if the Acolyte dies. The two melee grubbers first. So they need 7 or more. They both miss, and now the 3 grubbers. So 3 dice, and they need 7 or more also. I've got 2 hit, so 2 vitality left. At least they don't poison, so that's the good news. Now, the melee on the melee crawler on the Brigand, he hits with a 10. Now he gets to roll a fate dice to see if he poisons. He does. Nice. So now the Brigand is poisoned. The ranged crawler also hits. They may both die here. He would also get to roll the fate dice to see if he poisons the Brigand, but you can't be poisoned twice at the same time, so it's really useless to do it. Now the two grubbers, they also need 7. Got 1 hit, so that's bad. The Acolyte is now at has 2 vitality left. The Brigand has 4 vitality left, and he's poisoned. So that's the darkness cycle this time. Or shoot. I'm just gonna backtrack a little here because I had a big plan that I kind of forgot about because I'm explaining the rules to you guys. So when the Brigand receives the first attack from the first successful attack from the crawler, he's gonna play Like a Reed in the Wind. This says an incoming attack is directed towards an enemy. Attack misses Brigand. So basically, instead of hitting the Brigand, he's gonna hit this guy right here. So he's dead. And this doesn't generate any threat because he's the one who's done the killing. But Like a Reed in the Wind costs 1 AP, so I'm gonna score it. I'm gonna talk real quick here about the interrupts because as you can see if you have the cards, they all say yes only for no movement on the card, and everything else will say no. At first I thought this meant you couldn't move in the hero cycle if you used an interrupt, but then I never used the interrupts because of that, because I always had to go somewhere or do something. So we've been told recently by Kenny, I believe, from MegaCon that actually what they mean by that is that you can use it only if you don't move during the darkness cycle. As of now, I don't think there are any cards that allow you to move during the darkness cycle. So you can pretty much ignore this section, but I'm thinking probably some cards will allow you to do that later on. So keep that in mind. So it's not really, it doesn't prevent you from moving during your hero cycle. It simply prevents you from moving during the darkness cycle. So that's the first thing I should have done earlier. So basically I'm going to put back 1 vitality and I'm going to remove the poison token because now the crawler missed me. And I'm just going to re-roll the attack from the grubbers because there was only 1 now. So not knowing which one hit me, I'm just going to re-roll the dice. So I put the vitality back on the Brigand and sure enough he hits me. So the Brigand is at 5 and he's not poisoned, and the Acolyte is at 2. So that's a little better than it was a few seconds ago. And now the darkness cycle is done and the Brigand or the heroes can play. I should really try and get rid of monster types, so I stop adding 2 APs per refresh phase. But they're both quite hard to. They're separated, so I can't really do it with only 1 card. I guess it's a sucky move from the Brigand, but I'm still gonna do it because he kind of needs to be in shadows to be effective, and hopefully I don't trigger the darkness before he gets to act again. So first thing he's gonna do is he's gonna play a hustle, so he has more movement points. So now he has 4. He's gonna move 1 here and pick up the 2 treasures. Maybe he can find something useful. So I'm gonna grab the treasure bag again, give it a quick shuffle, pick 1 treasure. Wow, 2 greens. So 2 cards from the green deck. Amulet of Courage, -2 target number to Courage test, and the Quiver. So that's good for the archer, useless for me. they go in the inventory slot for now because I just grabbed them. And now he still has one movement point left. Hustle costs 1 AP, so I'm gonna score it. He's gonna do... The only thing he can do right now is Shadow's Reach, but I kind of want to keep it for later on. So he's only gonna go into Shadows, so he won't generate too much AP this turn. So there you go. And the Acolyte can't do much because he's got... Well, I mean, he could smite one guy. That's only 1 AP. Well, I mean, it won't change anything, but might do it anyways. It could very well be his last action of the game. So he's gonna do it as a reaction. He hasn't moved, so -2 target number. He's gonna hit the grubber. Who do I hit? I'm gonna hit the crawler right here. Yeah, just so I have less chances of getting poisoned. So I get 1d10, 1 fate dice. Now with the chalice, I get plus 2d10s and plus 1 fate dice, so that's good. Hopefully I can get a candle or a fate symbol because I would heal 1 vitality. So that's a... Oh, sorry. I'm smiting right now, so I'm using my weapon. That's too bad. So 1d10, 1 fate dice for the Acolyte, 1d10 for the wooden plank. And I get -2 target number. So instead of a 4, I need a 2. So I hit him, and sure enough, what did I roll? Fate dice, but it's only gonna allow... It will only allow me to reduce my threat by 1 because I've used the wooden plank, not the chalice. So I'm gaining 1 threat because I've killed this one, but I'm reducing my threat right away, so it's as if nothing happened. But I still have to add 1 AP. So that's pretty much what I'm gonna do this turn. The Acolyte will keep last rites in the last hope of killing a bunch of guys at once. The Brigand will keep Shadow's Reach. The Brigand reduces his threat by 1 and removes all cards, but 1 with the dark because it's an ongoing. And the Acolyte does the same thing, removes all cards and reduces threat by 1. Now, for the refresh phase, again, 2 monster types are active, so I add 2 APs. So the 6th hero cycle. So I could Shadow's Reach here, kill him with the Shadow's Reach and kill him with the Shadow's Touch. So I guess that's pretty much what I'm gonna do. But this would generate 3 AP, so definitely it would activate the darkness. So I think I'm gonna let the Acolyte play first. And the good news is he's got Soothe Wounds in hand, so as soon as the darkness cycle triggers, he's gonna use it to restore 2 vitality. So he's probably gonna live to fight another day. But before, I'm gonna try and do as much damage as I can before I trigger the darkness cycle. So I'm gonna do last rites, and I'm gonna try and kill those 3 guys here. So, oops, sorry. So basically, if I do, and the Brigand kills those 2 crawlers, then there are no crawlers left on the tile, so at least there's only 1 monster type active. But to do so, I would need two faith, and I don't have faith cards right now, so I'm gonna pray, literally, shuffle my discard again, and I'm gonna get to draw 3 cards from there. So I really only hope to get 1 faith card out of the 3. Even if I were to get more, it wouldn't do much unless I get a whole bunch of them, because if I start across here on the crawler, so I would target the grubber here. The first fate would be used here. 1, 2, 3, 4. If I go up to 5, I can hit the grubber here. So that's the only thing I can hope for, but I would need 5 faith. So that's impossible with the draw, but we'll see what happens. So 3 cards, and I got Smite, so that's useless. Hustle, that's useless, and Consuming Fire. They're all useless. So right now I would only hit the Grubber here and the Crawler here, because I have 1 base faith. But I have Righteous Fury in hand, so no, I can't use it because I would generate an AP. Ugh. Well, it looks like I'm playing Last Rites with only 1 fate. So I won't get to pop a treasure because I'm only gonna kill 2 guys, but at least those 2 guys will be dead. So Last Rites, I'm targeting the space right here. The fate will expand to this guy. So again, that's 2 different target numbers, but I get plenty of dice, so that should be fine. So 1d10, 1 fate dice for my hero, 2 d10s, 1 fate dice for my chalice, and 2 d10s for Last Rites because I haven't moved. So I've got a 5 d10s right now, should be no problem. And if this time if I roll 1 fate symbol on the fate dice, I get to heal 1 vitality. Okay, so good news are I hit both. I've got both target numbers, so he's dead and he's dead, and I gain 2 threat. So that's step 1. So I'm now at 7. Also, I've got 2 candles on my fate dice. It's too bad though because I can only use each fate recipe once per roll, so I only get 1 vitality back, but still, at least I get that. And this generates 2 APs, so it reaches 6, resets to 0, and goes to 1 right away. And the darkness triggers. So the darkness card this time tells me the event is if there are less than 4 minions. No, I'm good. There are 5 or 6. Spawn 4 minions immediately. I get to ignore that. And since the event says spawn, this means it happens from a lair. So anyways, it wouldn't have happened. No hero has threat 10, so they activate. And I'll ignore the focused spawn afterwards. So the crawlers move first. Since this guy is in shadows, he's gonna be ignored, and he's gonna move right here. He'll try to get in reach. 1, 2, 3. So he move here. This guy moves here, and this guy does, or I should say before the grubbers move. Now that the grubbers activate, since he starts his activation adjacent to Brigand in shadows, he gets to roll a single d10 to see if he notices him. The difficulty with one with the dark is target number 6. And the dirty blanket adds 1 to that, so it's target number. So he needs 7 or more to notice him. He doesn't, so he goes for the Acolyte. 1, 2, 3. And this guy goes here. So he's gonna receive 6 attacks, and he's got 4 vitality. But like I said before, he's got Soothed Wounds, which is an interrupt, so he can't play it anytime during the darkness cycle. So he's gonna play it right now. It restores 2 vitality, so he goes back to 5, but adds 2 threat. So he's now at threat 9. So he's gonna have to be careful for the rest of for a while actually. But at the same time, since I'm not going to really continue with this game, I think I'm just going to go crazy with him and do whatever I can to kill the minions left. So, melee crawler first. He rolls. He got a 5, so he misses. The range crawler got a 5 too, so he misses. Now 4 grubbers. They all need 7s. I've got 2 hits. So he's back at 3. But I'm fairly confident he'll make it. So that's the activation. I ignored the spawn section of the card. And now it's back to the heroes. The Acolyte is pretty much done. So the Brigand will go crazy. What I'm gonna do is use Shadow's Reach to pop right over the treasure. And it also grants me a 2 damage attack on one target. And since I won't move, or actually I'm gonna move cautiously to pick up the treasure, so I'm gonna get only -1 target number. So I'm gonna use the Shadow's Reach on the melee guy here. I get my base fate, my base dice pool plus 1d10 for the sharpened butter knife, and I need 3 or more because of the -1 target number. I got it, so he's dead, and I gain 1 threat. Now I'm gonna combo. Can I? Or sorry, I forgot again to roll the additional 2 fate dice for the darkness because I'm in the shadows. I got a guile symbol so I can reduce my threat by 1. And now, instead, and this adds 1 AP, instead of using Shadow's Touch, that does 3 damage but also generates 2 AP, I'm going to use Dirty Tactics as my action to kill the guy here. This doesn't combo off of Shadows, so I pop out of Shadows before the attack, and I'm going to try and kill the ranged guy here and get rid of the crawlers. So I'm going to move cautiously so I only gain 1d10 plus my base dice pool plus my d10 for the butter knife. This time I don't get the 2 fate dice bonus from Shadows because I'm not in Shadows anymore. I need a 4. I got it. He's dead. I gain 1 threat. And the very good news is the crawlers are done. So at least now I only add 1 AP per refresh phase. And with my 1 movement point, I'm going to grab the treasure. So this time I got a white token. So I picked from the white deck and I got 1 gold piece. It's going to go in my equipment slot. And Dirty Tactics adds 1 AP. So that's pretty much all I can do this turn. The Brigand is going to keep Now You See Me as an interrupt in case he gets attacked. But I mean, with the threat of the Acolyte, it's not very likely. You know what? I'm going to keep Shadow's Touch just in case I can manage to go back into Shadows, but it's not very likely. The Acolyte will keep Sprint. The Acolyte reduces threat by 1 and clears his cards. The Brigand reduces threat by 1 and clears his card also. And now I've gone through the hero decks once already. So I'm going to give them a quick shuffle. So I can finish these guys off and show you what happens when I clear a tile. Alright, so refresh phase, I'm gonna add 1 AP to the darkness track because there's only 1 monster type active left. And that's pretty much all that's gonna happen in the refresh phase. And now the hero cycle. What I would very much like to do now is get rid of them all before they activate. I don't think I can though. So I'm gonna let the Brigand play first so that the Acolyte doesn't generate any threat before the darkness cycle, because that would be very bad news. So I'm gonna play Shadow's Reach. That doesn't have to be played from Shadows. So it's the same, the attack is the same. I'm gonna use it as a reaction. It does the same thing, but it's simply... or hold on, before I play that, the Acolyte will play Feet of the Saints. So this reduces AP usage on attack actions by 1. So now I'm gonna use Shadow's Reach as a reaction anyway, because I'm gonna play an action afterwards for 1 AP. And I won't be moving in this cycle, so I get the full -2 target number. So I can play it even though I'm not in Shadows. I just don't get the 2 Fate Dice bonus. So I'm going to use it to pop it right here and target this guy. So 1d10, 1 fate dice for my hero, 1d10s for my knife, and -2 target number. So I need a 3 or more. I got it. So he's dead. I gain 1 threat. And I'm gonna add 1 AP because I used Shadow's Reach as a reaction. So that's target number. The track is now at 5, so I really have to be careful. I'm gonna combo off of Shadow's Reach. Well, actually, it doesn't change anything, but I'm gonna play Suicide Run right now. Or sorry, I just realized I should have done targeting him with Shadow's Reach. Now I'm gonna play Suicide Run. I don't have a hustle this time, sadly, because it would have allowed me to get rid of all 3, but at least I'm gonna kill 2. So, or try to. So again, this is not considered a move, so I get the full benefit of standing still. 1d10, 1 fate dice for my hero, 1d10 for the knife, and 1d10, 1 fate dice for the run. I need only a single 5. I got it, so I killed those 2. And again, I gain 2 threat, so I'm at 6 right now. And this time, since it's an attack action, I get the benefits from Feet of the Saints, so it doesn't cost any AP. So the Acolyte will smite the last guy for, again, 0 AP because I'm using it as an action. So he's gonna stand still, -2 target number, he needs a 3. So 1d10, 1 fate dice for the hero, 1d10 for the wooden plank, and I need a 3. I got it. So this guy's dead. Now I gain 1 threat because I've done 1 point of damage, but also the tile is now cleared. So what happens when you clear a tile is you reset your threat meter to 0. So I kind of ignored what I just did. And then I reset the AP track on the darkness board to 0 also. And if there were any treasure tokens or treasure markers left on the tile, they would all instantly change into 1 gold piece that I would pick up automatically. But there are none left because I managed to grab them all while playing. So that's one mechanic or one more thing to consider while you're playing. You really need to try and pick up the treasures as you fight the bad guys. So you get better item, better gear. It's always better to grab gear, even though it's not good gear. Even if it's not useful for you guys, at least you can sell it back to a merchant later on for gold. So grabbing 1 gold per treasure marker is pretty much the worst thing you can do with a treasure marker. And the last thing that happens on the tile is that you can now you have free trade from anywhere on the tile. So if I wanted to exchange things between the heroes, I could do it for free, even if they're not adjacent. And the heroes get double movement points. So every movement point spent would allow you to move 2 spaces instead of 1 until you reach the next tile. So as soon as you reach the next tile, this bonus ends and you kind of just stay there. So if I decided to keep going this way here, then I would just move the tile, and as soon as I enter the new tile, as soon as one of the heroes enters it, then I populate it according to the legend on that tile and keep going. Hopefully this has been interesting and helpful.